So it is these coefficients with which we're going to generate the principal component value. So for these values will now have to be transformed into the PC values, principal component values. Okay. And the way that is done, okay, here is the formula for that. Here it is. Well, let's see where is the general formula. That is, you have to go x minus x sub 1 minus x sub 1 bar. So you take the difference between the actual value and the mean of the variable and then multiply by the coefficient. So that's how you get the values for the z1 and z2 and z3 and z4 and so on. So here is how it is computed. Okay, so let's do that here. Okay, so we have to now need to figure out what the averages are. So average for calories is that, right? So we need to set up x bar sub 1 minus, x sub 1 minus x bar sub 1. And x bar sub 1 we calculated right there, and I'm going to set up absolute reference like this. So I can copy this formula to x sub 2. So this means that row will get fixed, column is not fixed. So row won't change, the column will change if you copy. So that is our x sub 1 minus its mean, and this is x sub 2 minus its mean. Okay. All right. So now we're using all the variables. Okay, so we're using both the variables. Here we're starting out with just 2, right? We're using both the variables to figure out the first PC, and we are using both the variables to figure out the second PC. That's how if you have 10 variables, and those 10 variables will be converted into 10 PCs, right? So each PC is calculated by using all the 10 variables. Okay, so here we do sum product, sum product of these two values with the, okay, so with these two, so this is your first PC coefficient. So PC is the linear combination, and these are the coefficients for the linear combination, except that this is in vertical fashion. Okay, so those x sub 1 minus x sub 1 bar are horizontal, so this is vertical. So how can we use, what function do we need to use to make sure, because these ranges must be similar. So if you have a row, you have to have another row for sum product to work. If you have a column, the other one must also be column for the sum product to work. So when one is row, the other is column, what do you need to do? What is that process called? Yeah. What do you do? What is the process called when you take a column and make it into a row? It's called transpose. Okay. There is a function called transpose in Excel. It's kind of an array function. So this is how that function will work. Transpose. Okay. So you have to transpose both of them. It's not just one cell. You have to transpose both of them, and one right parenthesis for transpose and one more for sum product. But since transpose is an array function, the array function should be finished off not by simply pressing the enter key, but what do you need to do? Yeah, shift or control shift,
Control shift.
and then control shift, press control shift, keep control shift down, and then press enter. Control shift and press enter, and that will automatically insert those squiggly brackets that indicates that we have an array formula. Okay. So now you see that you can copy that to the next one. So now it takes sorry, it won't work. Copy won't work because it changes to M and N there. D27, D28 is good, but that one is not good. So we have to go back and change that to L and M. And when you do edit array formulas, you still have to finish off with Control Shift Enter. Okay. So now we can copy this. Wow. There is one other thing that I missed, and that is this C27 and 28 must be absolute reference. Yeah, you know what happened? I changed this to absolute reference, and then I just simply pressed enter. Okay, what should I have done? Control Shift Enter. Okay, since this is an array function, even when you edit, you have to do Control Shift and enter. And do the same thing for the next one. F4, Control Shift Enter, and now you copy, and you'll have so what we have done is we have taken these two columns and changed them into these two columns.